And now it's my privilege to announce our speaker for today, Christine Day. She's an author, a channel, Pleiadian ambassador, and she does such a wonderful job here, and she comes here every couple of months. She's one of our resident speakers. And if you've never heard her before, she is wonderful. I know there's one person here who's never heard her before. She does wonderful workshops. She lives in Twin Cities, coming from Australia, from where she was born, and travels all over the world, so we're really happy to have her here every couple of months. And actually, to tell you the truth, she's one of the most loving people I've ever met. So if you would make sure you get a hug from her, because she gives the best hugs in town, I'd like to introduce you to Christine Day.
Well, how wonderful to be here again. It always touches my heart so much to be here. It's something that I look forward to. So I just want to honor you all for being here at this time. And when I say that, I'm talking about being here on the planet, because we are in the middle of so much transformation. And it's taken each one of us a lot of courage to say yes to being here. And so we need to acknowledge that we came here by choice, saying yes, because we came here with a mission, each one of us. And I feel like this community, all of us here in this community, play a very important role right now on the planet. And the Pleiadians bring a lot of messages today, some very important messages. Because in this time, at this time of what the Pleiadians call the new dawning, we are being asked to pay attention to ourselves and the very important relationship that we have with ourselves at this time. The focus starts with us right now. It has always been that way, but right now, most importantly, we are being brought into a new level of awakening and connection with the essence of ourselves. That's true. We are going through a birthing. The Pleiadians say our mission for this lifetime, what we've all agreed to in this lifetime, is to honor our humanness, because we are human beings here having a human experience. It's true. And nothing is more important than that, is to remember our human aspect, the vulnerability of our humanness and who we are as a human being, and to celebrate the vulnerability and the imperfection of us being human. This is one of the biggest pieces, I think the most challenging piece for us as human beings, is to be willing to embrace the vulnerabilities, our vulnerabilities, to embrace our mistakes, and to embrace all that we are within being human and what that really means in our lives right now. Because part of our mission here on this earth, in this lifetime, is to honor our humanness and at the same time move into an awakening process of our own spiritual natures, consciously. And we are supposed to fulfill that mission in this lifetime, that we move into our enlightenment process. That means consciously being aware of our own divine presence and begin anchoring it into the cells of our body. But the Pleiadians are saying there's been this misperception that many people feel we have to be perfect in order to move into our enlightenment process. So we're striving for this perfection as a human being, and at the same time, that's an impossibility because we are perfectly imperfect in our humanness. What the Pleiadians are saying needs to take place right now for our next step to be able to move into an accelerated awakening into our enlightenment process is that we need to change the relationship we have with ourselves from an ego-minded third dimension of self-judgment, condemnation, really condemning ourselves for our decisions, the way we've lived, the mistakes we've made, to a relationship of fourth, fifth dimensional with our human selves, which is love, compassion, and patience for who we are in our humanness. Loving our journeys, honoring what we have done, the courage it's taken to go through the suffering, the struggle, the human third-dimensional elements. Loving that aspect and getting to know the vulnerabilities of ourselves. Now, the Pleiadians are saying that we need to change this relationship from a third dimension to a fourth, fifth dimensional love and compassion relationship with ourselves. This is where the transformation begins, right here. It's no good looking out there and saying, I'll help this person, and this person, when you're sitting right there, and this is where the transformation must begin, right here within ourselves. Now, it doesn't have to be done perfectly. That's the good news. The Pleiadians say, if you hold yourself with love and compassion for one moment, in that one moment of time, every cell in your body will transform. And it's an accumulative process. So for every moment you choose to say to yourself and smile at your vulnerability or your anger or your, I've made a mistake one more time, to hold yourself with love and understand that you are less than perfect, that you are doing the best you can in the moment. Oh, made another mistake. And hold yourself with that love and appreciation for that human aspect. And be willing to say, okay, say we try not to be in rage or anger. We want to be really divine and quiet and loving and just so sweet and all joyful and yet inside we've got this passion and this anger and all of a sudden you lose your temper and you go, oh God, I just can't seem to get that where I can keep myself in this light. But the fact is that anger that's inside of us that comes out is a part of us being alive. As human beings, being alive means to feel. And it's just not just joy and love and light. This has, been like the illusion that we've all been striving for, this perfection, being sweet and so kind and loving everybody. And, it's just really been a lot of stuff that's weighed us all down because guess what? We can't maintain it. No matter how hard you try, guess what? You're going to get angry. You're going to just go, oh, I just cannot tolerate that person, And the fact is we get mirrors coming towards us. Everything that's inside of us, every part that's inside, guess what? The universe sends us a mirror. Just so we get the opportunity to have the experience of what we're not dealing with inside ourselves. And one more time, it comes as a reflection and we get angry because guess what? Inside there's a piece that needs an expression. Maybe there's fear there. Maybe there's still sadness there from something from the past that we just weren't able to deal with in the moment. But the fact is that the universe will keep sending us mirrors in order for us to really get to know who we are as a human being in our vulnerability. We need to get to know who we are. We need to understand our idiosyncrasies as a human being. We need to understand what makes us afraid and what's going on inside. That is part of our journey, is to align and learn to love all the vulnerable aspects of our humanness. That is part of our transition into enlightenment, because when you decide to start accepting who you are in your vulnerability, you start to understand the impact some things have on you that create fear coming up or sadness. Then you begin to end a separation that's inside yourself. That's the separation that stops the enlightenment process. When you start to be able to smile at your vulnerabilities and hold yourself with love and compassion when you're afraid, and be willing to feel it. It's only a feeling, it can't hurt you. But when you're willing to know, this makes me afraid. When say an angry person comes at me, I get afraid inside. There's a part of me that's afraid of the anger. We certainly have been programmed not to deal with anger. Smile. Push the anger down. It's not acceptable. Anger is not accepted in our society. Smile. And the feeling of rage, well, gosh, that's absolutely not acceptable. But rage is just part of our passionate natures. It means we're really alive. And when you get to feel the intensity of the rage, guess what? You then are able to feel the full expression of the love and the joy that is also a part of us. You start to see the multidimensionality of the human aspect of yourself and begin to appreciate all the levels of yourself in real terms. So it's about beginning a step-by-step process of learning, being willing, not being afraid of what you're going to find out about yourself. I know many people say, I'm so afraid there's something really bad about me. I just know it. And these are all the stories that we've been told and fed and that we've taken on. Yes, we took it on, but guess what? It's inside of us and we are afraid. Maybe there's something really bad about me. And I went through this process some years ago of this going through and really finding out who I was inside. And I found out, I was really okay. I had a lot of feelings in there, that's right. But the feelings, just once I started to really allow myself to be with me and feel who I was in that moment, it was really okay. It was liberating. I could actually take a breath. And once I started to do that, my separation ended. I became into a place of really self-love and self-acceptance. And gosh, I have a lot of idiosyncrasies as a human being. And you know what? I'm really okay. And that in itself ends the separation. So when something happens, when I see myself in one of my meltdown times, I'm just moving. Today I'm moving. I left the truck at the house at 8 o'clock this morning. It came in. So I came here because I had to be here. Spirit said, you need to come today. I said, okay. So the truck's moving the furniture and I'm here. And I had some meltdowns and I just was able to sit there and hold myself with love and compassion, the human aspect of myself. And my relationship to myself has changed. Doesn't mean I do it perfectly, and I don't need to. I just need to allow myself not to condemn myself for what I'm doing or give myself a hard time. It's holding myself with love and compassion and saying, you know what? We're okay. I'm okay. And yes, I made a mistake, but guess what? That is my learning process. It's all our learning processes to make mistakes. That's how we learn. Understanding that the universe, when a situation comes to you, it's being brought to you as a gift, not a punishment. That's another thing the ego mind says. What did I do wrong? I must have done something terribly wrong for this to be happening. No. The fact is that things are coming along right now, and it's accelerating because of the dimensional shifts on the planet, where things are going to get more intense. They are. And so this is the important time for you to begin to align to this human part, for you to start understanding your internal process, your idiosyncrasies, your vulnerabilities. And when you do that, when the separation ends inside of you, when you choose to accept yourself just as you are, no frills, then that separation between you and your humanness transforms. And then guess what? You don't look out there and point the finger at everybody else and judge everyone else because you're judging yourself inside. When you cease to judge yourself here, then guess what? The door opens and all of a sudden there is a love and acceptance of other human beings. And isn't that what you're trying to do anyway, being loving? But you can't when you're holding it here and judging yourself. It spills out to everyone else around you. So this is a very important piece of what the Pleiadians are wanting you to really hear and understand this morning. There's another piece that's happening right now. Understanding that the rest of the universe right now works with what they call the living principles, sacred principles, that we are not at this point aligned to. We are separate from the rest of the universe. We are the only planet that operates from that third dimensional illusion. But the time is coming when the shifts are taking place where these levels of energies, the living principles, are multidimensional energies that bring in a way of life and a way of being that is very different from what we know here on this earth plane at this time. The time is coming, though, where these energies, these living principles, are going to be coming into our planet Earth. They anchor with the fourth, fifth dimensional energies that are really beginning to anchor here and support us in our transformational process of ourselves. Now, we need to be consciously transforming the relationship with ourselves on a human level. But then we have the spiritual realms and the energies of the Pleiadians, the star systems, the galactic energies that are here to support us, and the spiritual realms, they are here to support us in our transformation of our spiritual selves. That's very important to understand. So we're working hand in hand, either consciously or unconsciously with them. Understanding you've made pre-agreements. Every one of us here have made pre-agreements to call on that support at this time to support us in this very powerful transition that we are going through, that is going to accelerate even more as we move more into 2013. So it's really about, number one, being aware that there's a truth. One truth is that we have all this support from the universe. All eyes are on us, planet Earth. And this is because we matter to the universe. You see, the universe, all the energies, see all of us as beautiful and courageous being here, having our human experience. They really honor us and really support us in this beautiful experience of humanness. This is a fact, and this is what we need to turn back to and honor ourselves in this. This is part of the transition that I've been talking about, the ending of the internal separation by just loving ourselves and being willing to forgive ourselves for what we perceived we have done. But all we have actually done has been having our experience as these human beings. That's it. And you are not responsible for any other human being on this earth plane. Everybody is responsible for themselves and is busy having their own human experience. Yes, we play off each other. That's part of the divine economy. Guess what? You create a wave by doing something, and guess what? The other person then has to choose how they're going to respond to the experience, like you. You have a moment-by-moment decision on how you're going to react to any experience that's happening to you at any time. You can choose to be with yourself and feel your feelings and allow yourself to be fully in the experience, or you can close off and separate yourself. And so as you separate from someone else, you automatically separate from yourself through your heart. We have a moment-by-moment choice on how we choose to respond in any given moment. And what the Pleiadians are saying is There is a lot of intensity coming onto the planet. They're asking you not to go into the old knee-jerk reaction of struggle and fear, but to be willing to open up into a trusting and open up and call the support into your lives that is here for each one of you at this time. And there's not one of you here, not me, not you, that doesn't have access to a tremendous support system right now from the universal energies. They are here in total now for us on this path. And we know, you look at something, maybe it's financial, and you're thinking, how on earth am I going to get through this time? There is no money. I know there's a lot of people having money issues right now, or struggling with something that just seems impossible. Know that this is really the time for the commonplace miracles to start coming up for us. All we need to do, and this is what the Pleiadians are saying, is we need to take a breath, come into the heart center. This is the fourth, fifth dimensional connection here in the heart. This is the ego mind that spins around, spinning out fear and struggle and lack and impossibilities and doesn't have any answers and just is really like driven by a fear engine. It's what I would call the fear engine, is the ego mind. And we've been operating that way a long time now. Try just bringing your hand to your heart and taking a breath and bring your awareness here and breathe. And you begin to align to the fourth, fifth dimensional aspect of yourself, your divine self. It connects you, yes, to a place where if you come here, when all of this turmoil is going on and all the messages of the ego mind are producing all this fear and struggle, and if you come and breathe here, this is where you'll start to feel a sense of peace and rightness, where you can connect to the support that is here from the universe for you now, right now. The question is, how much are you willing to allow yourself to receive on a divine level right now in reality? You only have to ask and call it forward from here, not the ego mind that's like clamoring, like a screaming, clamoring, noise, just shaking and out of control, feeling like you've got to have a heart attack at any moment because it's just too much. It's here, through the quiet of this center, here that you can connect and take a breath, and where there are solutions, where things can look third dimensionally, where there is no way out, no way possible, you can even imagine anything working for you, where it's just like you've hit a wall, that's here. But this is where the unlimited is for us, the unlimited solutions, where you can change your mind, where you're allowed to let go and to give the energy over to the higher source to support and work out the way for you that is right for you. It's the connection to your own divine source. It's the connection to engage the help of the universe, to call that in and allow yourself to be supported at this time. Because guess what? At this time, we were never meant to do it alone, ever. I want you to hear that. You were never meant to go through this time alone without the support of the universe. That was the pre-agreement that you made before you came here on this earth plane. Every one of you. There's not one of you here that doesn't have that support system. But it does take you stepping forward consciously and calling the support in. You don't even need to have a plan in here to work out, to follow. You don't even need to know how it's going to sort itself out. All you need to do is be willing to do it differently, because we've been doing it in negative cycles for a long time. And it's your time now, it's our time now to move into this level of transformation. Your human self needs this new relationship with you. It needs to put an end to the suffering and the self-condemnation and the negative comments that you are directing towards yourself. Understand that many of those you've taken on from your parents, guess what? They may not be in your life anymore, so you take over and start having these negative comments in yourself. But it's over now. The struggle can be over now. The self-condemnation can be over now. And it starts with one moment a day of you making a conscious choice to hold yourself with that love. One moment. It makes one moment of you holding your heart and connecting and saying, I'm ready now. I'm ready to receive the support and the help. This is what I need. I need this. And I am now willing and ready to receive this support. I can't do this alone. You have to admit it. I can't do it alone. And yes, we have each other, and that is great. We are meant to work as a collective on one level, but we're also meant to engage the rest of the universe and start operating with them at this time. The divine source, the divine consciousness, that God consciousness that each one of us is a part. We're meant to start moving back into that alignment. It's part of our right, divine right. And for me, you know, it really touches me so deeply for Spirit to say, you do not have to travel alone. You can consciously begin this journey, this pathway with us, supporting you. I need that. And I've been utilizing that in my life for some time now. And it's transformed my life. And the more you're willing to align to your heart and say, I need help. I can't do this alone. Just even expressing that to yourself. I can't do this alone. And knowing we're not meant to do it alone. I know that was a huge relief for me. It was something very, very special for me to know that. It is the time for our transformation. And it is the time for us to recollect and reconnect to ourselves and end that internal separation. Because that is going to transform the way you are going to be able to align then to that divine aspect of yourself. It is the time for us to have that conscious spiritual alignment with our divine aspect and begin utilizing that. That is the mission for this lifetime. And the Pleiadians say we are all going to achieve that enlightenment process. So that's great. I like that. And we need to. Many of us here, actually all of us here, the Pleiadians are saying, are the way showers for a lot of the community out in the world. As we begin to align and end that aspect of separation within ourselves, in one moment, you shift a certain structure that has anchored within our third dimensional earth plane for lifetimes. Just with one moment of ending that separation inside yourself, it puts a crack on that structure that's been holding us in a certain pattern of self-sabotage for lifetimes. if you can commit to that for yourself, knowing that it's not I love the fact that we don't have to do it perfectly. You can choose one moment a day, one moment a week, but it's going to accumulate and transform the way that you receive yourself. And what will happen is as you align and end those moments, have those moments of ending separation, the universe, you are going to begin transmitting a new energy in your energetic field, and you're going to draw to you the mirror of this self-love, of this separation. You're going to start drawing to you the abundance that is yours by divine right, instead of all the experiences of separation. Because you're getting that mirror. So as you change the mirror inside yourself, you start to draw naturally to you the mirror of abundance, of love, where you're getting maybe cycles of people criticizing you or betraying you. The self-betrayal in here, as you end that, you start to end all those mirrors, those negative mirrors that are being brought to you right now. Your world can transform. The doors of you will open. That's the important part. That's the essential part that we need to work with now. So it's about the source is here. This is our source. This is all our connectors, our sacred connectors are here. They cannot operate with that separation intact. But the Pleiadians say you only need, you don't have to do it perfectly, just a certain number of moments of non-separation. And guess what? All the shells, the old shells, just fall away from you. You don't have to get every moment, every second, everything that you hold against yourself. You don't have to reverse it. You just have to get it to a certain level of, like, each moment is accumulative, and as that keeps building, one moment, extra moment, and guess what? Everything, the shells fall away. And you start to understand the truth and begin aligning to what the Pleiadians call the living principles that the rest of the universe work within. We have to align to those living principles too, and that happens as we start to drop away those separation experiences that we keep, or up to this point have been building onto ourselves. Let's just take a breath right now. Just breathing and feeling. Now there's a beautiful Hopi message that I feel, well, the Pleiadians transmit to all the Native American people, and I feel this is really an important piece that I wanted to actually just read out today, because they call it to my fellow swimmers, and that's us. We're all swimming together. There is a river flowing now, very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and suffer greatly. Know that the river has its destination. The elders say we must push off into the middle of the river. Keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. See who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment we do that, our spiritual growth comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves, banish the word struggle from your attitude and vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in the sacred way and in celebration. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the ones we have been waiting for. That is such a truth. It's time to come home to ourselves, and that is through the heart center. Part of the thing of coming home to ourselves. We are the ones we've been waiting for. It's about ending that separation within our humanness, ending the critical voice and holding ourselves with love. We've been waiting for our own love, our own loving embrace. That is what's going to move you from operating from a third dimensional aspect of struggle to a fourth, fifth dimensional relationship with yourself of love and compassion and patience. It takes away all the burdens. The struggle does end when you begin with self-acceptance for everything that you're experiencing. You no longer have to try so hard to be right or to get it right. When you give yourself that permission of imperfection and celebrate that as a human being, there's so much that drops away in that moment. There's so much that you can bring and come back to yourself with in that moment of time. This is our legacy. It's always been here. And as you end that separation, you begin to be able to channel in that light aspect of your divine nature, because it can come in because you've ended the separation. That's what's so important right now. And the excitement and the joy of the moment when you come into that light, when the light goes on and you realize all along you've just been waiting for you. Isn't that glorious, that thought? That it's really always been here? That moment of understanding that truth. No longer looking out there, but here is the divine grace. And it begins with that ending of that separation of the humanness. To me, there's nothing more joyful and glorious than that touches my heart, to know who I am and that I can be here with myself. And from there, my experience is the floodgates opened, and I have been really liberated into my own divine aspect and my enlightenment process. You know, that is my work, my mission. And it touches my heart so deeply to even be with myself and to feel the gloriousness of my being and my light. The authenticity of myself in my spiritual essence, but also that authenticity of my humanness. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful unveiling of yourself. And I think it's been one of the greatest veils to lift right now for us as a human race, that we can come back to ourselves in sacred connection, that we can begin this loving journey. It's just a moment in time that we allow that. And what I'd really like to do now, because I'm not doing the workshop this afternoon because I am moving today, and I will be next time, of course, be offering the free workshop because it feels like a very important thing, and it's something I love to do, is to bring the different tools for support. I want to transmit some sounds and some tones to open the heart center. And it would be really great, because this is where it is. It's the heart. It's the sacred heart. And actually, the sacred heart is the whole chest area. This is our living heart right here. And I'm going to just bring in some energetic tones for you to allow yourself to anchor into your heart center, to start making that connection to you. This is in celebration of each one of you and all that you are in this moment. The greatness and the beauty of who you are, in celebration of you, of your humanness and all your vulnerabilities, all your idiosyncrasies. I celebrate that and honor you all. for that. And for all of us as swimmers, may we swim together and hold ourselves in that collective energy. E kom dai isha she o me ke hoya ta ine I she o me she o me she o. Just taking a breath and just letting go into your heart center and just allowing this energy to open and expand the beauty of your heart and the connection to yourself, akoshata, that you can work with this. It will stay open. There is nothing you have to do but just breathe and let the sound into your heart, akoshata. Breathe and let go. Take one more breath right into your heart center. Breathe and let go right through your heart center. up to this point in time, claiming this moment for yourself, breathing and letting go, claiming your passion of your humanness, breathing and letting go. Akasha. Eke ho yata inei. Deshe om. Deshe om. Deshe om. And I honor each one of you and all that you are in this moment. So be it. Thank you, everyone.
To the forest, deep in pine and hardwood tree, I lay down in soft green mosses, let the mother comfort me, let the mother comfort me. And the sun come o'er the treetops, cast the Father's light on me, and my heart filled with wonder as a vision came to me. And I saw the deer and the lion come lie down beside me, and the earth was a garden, all the flowers spoke to me. Yes, the flowers spoke to me. They said love is the nectar. They said love is the clay. They said love holds all together in the final mystery. So go tell all the children, go tell everyone that the world is surely changing, and we will all be one. I walked in to the forest, deep in pine and hardwood tree. I laid down in soft green mosses, let the mother comfort me. I let the mother comfort me.
So we open up to feel the energy of this circle, the essence of the community, and the circle of energy that creates a beautiful circle of love, that we're all a part. This is the sacred union of all that we are as our divine God consciousness that exists within each one of us. So I open up to the words, I am. And let's just open and anchor those through this circle so we can go out across the community and across the country, the essence of the truth of those words. I am. Akom daisha asheo, heke hoyata inei, ashe om da inea, ashe om asheo, ashe o. Bringing your sound forth, let's anchor the energy of this circle.